Normalized power is an important metric for cyclists and triathletes to understand. While it sounds complex, it is very valuable to understand what normalized power is and how it should be used in training and racing. In order to better understand NP, as we're going to call it, let's first consider some basic exercise physiology to give us context. Fundamentally, to build fitness, an athlete needs to apply a stress to the body, and then through recovery from that stress, the body adapts and becomes stronger and is able to accommodate a greater stress in the next round of training. The fundamental components of stress are intensity, duration, and frequency, or how hard, how long, and how often. The how hard piece has historically been difficult to quantify, but for cyclists, power meters have given us a very direct objective measurement of the actual work an athlete is doing. Taking average power by simply averaging the highs and lows of an effort over a given duration is pretty simple to understand and calculate, and on the surface seems like a great way to capture how hard an effort is over a particular duration, but it's actually somewhat limited in its application. As an example, let's take two different efforts for 1 hour. First, a steady 1 hour ride on a trainer with little to no variation in output is an average of, say, 200 watts. Might be a fairly easy ride for a particular person. Next, consider a 1 hour ride on a hilly course and then insert 10 to 15 minute short intervals where the same person is putting out 300 to 400 watts for 15 seconds to 1 minute at a time, followed by easier pedaling below 200 watts for recovery. With all the higher highs and lower lows, the athlete may still average 200 watts. However, from a feel perspective, a variable ride is much harder and leaves the athlete more fatigued and in need of recovery. Where the 200 watt steady ride may have been easy enough to be considered a recovery unto itself, the variable ride may have been more equivalent to a much harder ride physiologically, depending on the particulars of the variance. As this example illustrates, average power is not sophisticated enough to capture these nuances, and this is where the concept of normalized power comes into play. So normalized power is calculated using an algorithm that is a little complex, but in a nutshell, takes into account the variance between a steady workout and a fluctuating workout. The resulting value is an attempt to better quantify the physiological cost of the harder feel of the variable effort. For a highly variable workout, normalized power can be much higher than the average power, where for a very steady workout, normalized power and average power are equivalent or very close together. A relatively high normalized power is showing that the workout had a lot of variation and was harder physiologically than what average power may reveal.